And welcome back to the fourth for the fourth week of classes. And on this Sunday, we're bringing you the junior group one of Runeterra Academy between Dudbro Gaming and Dorado Gaming Sigma. I'm sun praising. Alongside me is Tiger, as usual on these Sundays, and I still haven't quite gotten better at leading in. So we'll, dear,
Well, the whole
we're
point
working
is
on that.
to get some learning involved, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
why
I'm
we
going.
got
I
this
got my
going.
notes down here. I take them every week and what I can do different, as well as what we have. Um, well, with these two teams coming forward, I know we've both been speaking a bit to a few of these contact points for both teams. So I don't know how much you've gotten, Tiger, but I'm going to let you take it away before we get into this game one draft.
Yeah, so this is kind of an interesting situation. All of the matches that we've had so far, I believe that the teams have had the same record as each other. But this week we've got Dorado Gaming Sigma, which is 3-0, top of the table in Division 1, against Dudbro Gaming that's got a 1-2 record. So up to not an ideal start, but still in a position where they can make a run towards playoffs in the last few weeks. And the season goes by pretty fast, son.
Yeah.
We're in week 4. There's only 7 weeks, so the teams definitely will be looking to pick up as many wins as they can going into that playoff period. But we'll be looking this time around to see if an upset can be pulled by Dudbro Gaming.
Yeah, and in terms of the rosters, a few changes coming in the rosters due to substitutions. I have one moment, sorry.
All right. While you take a moment, I will announce for all of us that we're getting right into draft. So we got Dudbro Gaming on the blue side, Dorado Gaming Sigma is on the red side, and we'll see a lot of contested picks here. So the substitutions, as Sun was saying, is that we've got Pepecito Muncini uh, for Dorado Gaming Sigma in the top lane. Was the top laner as well last week, but it's been Dobbin all the way up until that point. It sounded like Dobbin may be able to join later in the series, but he's not here just yet. And on the other side, Dudbro Gaming is subbing in at support, hard only for Bard. So we'll see if we're gonna get some Bard gameplay this time. It's usually air tone. Everyone else, I believe, is the normal starters for both of these teams. So looking at the first pick, Karma, that's an interesting pickup. I definitely feel like right now a lot of ADCs are the first pick meta, but Karma's a little bit of a flex pick, still a viable solo laner as well. So it's just going to be dogs picking up the Ezreal Corki, getting some early poke available.
Yeah, as you're mentioning with the Karma pickup being able to flex all around the map. Obviously, when Karma does become meta, I mean, she could pretty much flex into just about every role. But especially in the mid lane now, enchanters are well becoming a bit more common. However, as Victor's gets locked in, I'm pretty sure that most likely secures Karma's spot in the bot lane outside of a flex to the top. But since as we were saying, this is a substitute support on the side of Dudbro. I'm not aware of their champion pool. So maybe even though Bard's in his name, he's not exactly the biggest Bard fan, or perhaps it has to come through with the different teams. But yeah, sorry, I had to excuse myself there. My dad kind of hopped in, was like, "Yo, I need something." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing things." Okay, though, $15
Yeah,
is $15.
yeah, real life events
It
going on are
happens. It
strange.
happens.
So
Sorry
let's
about
see
that.
if we get a report on this. It's Dorado Gaming Silver. All right, they're saying J4 is the pick that got missed. So this blank void of emptiness in the red 3 slot, we will just imagine for the rest of the time that this is Jarvan the Fourth. We're having a little bit of lag going on the end of Pog Tough Daddy, who is the captain. I spoke with him earlier today about the team, and he had to say that they kind of go about everything with a team effort sort of idea. They don't have anyone else coming in doing the draft for them. It's just they work together on putting together a comp, which they've kind of gone towards different types of comps throughout the first 3 weeks. They haven't really been keeping it all the same. So pretty impressive to see a team with so much flexibility be working together on building the comp.
Yeah, and with the ability to play just about any sort of style that they want on whenever they want, it definitely helps them in these drafts, which allows them to kind of just say, well, if they want to target our mid lane, well, we'll throw up our carry to the top lane, or so on and so forth. And meanwhile, I see Alistair getting locked in, and I'm honestly not all too sure about this pick on a personal level. I don't exactly think Alistair's been too good recently, but perhaps they know something we don't, Tiger.
Yeah, well, Alistar is kind of a twofold champ in my opinion. There's obviously the potential to use Alistar for hard engage, which is what I normally expect to see from an Alistar pick. But there's also the possibility that you use Alistar mostly for disengage. I mean, you can hit someone with the pulverized to knock them up when they go in, and then try to eject them with a headbutt, pushing them away. So I think that that may be how we see the Alistar used here. The lock-in's telling me now that we got Ashe Karma as the bot lane for Dudbro Gaming, a very strong early game. So I think that it will be a lot more focused towards the top side. We'll see what the counter pick is here to this Ornn. That gives a lot of opportunity to look for a carry here in the top lane, as well as the fact that there's a lot of engage already picked up for Dorado Gaming. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like a Jace or a Camille potentially here. A Silas.
Or Silas, okay. That
Yeah.
would be a silence. Hello, yeah, Silas for Mancini in that top lane, and I was honestly maybe expecting a little bit of Aatrox, obviously having the most recent buffs on his sweet spots, but also in their 2 games last week, in their 2-0 nothing win, Mancini also had played both games on Aatrox, and Aatrox was open, and so he's an Aatrox fan clearly. But no, I mean Silas, I do like this Silas pickup because look at all the ultimates he has available for him on the enemy team.
Yeah, you got the Call of the Forge God, you got Enchanted Crystal Arrow, you got Onslaught of Shadows. Even the Chaos Storm's a pretty big team fight ultimate, so there's going to be a lot of potential for damage here. And Silas also can do a pretty good job of assassinating enemy champions. So right now I feel like Hecarim and Ornn, you're never really going to assassinate them. And I have a little bit of concerns for the consistency of the damage coming through on the comp of Dorado Gaming Sigma. They've got pretty good poke. They've got Ezreal, Corki. They're going to do some poke for you. Jarvan and Alistar have a good engage potential, but they don't really have anyone that's going to just fire out auto attacks or fire out an ability that's just going to do DPS over and over again. So it may be a little bit difficult. I'll be watching Dudbro Gaming to see if they can get early advantages on this Hecarim, and Chihuahua Dog going to have a lot of potential to carry here, I think.
Yeah, and we were speaking of Chihuahua in the jungle, and more meta picks. Obviously, Hecarim's been one that's come into popularity more recently, and with you were mentioning how Alistair can be used more defensively, but Hecarim goes unstoppable once he gets his ultimate available and online. So, I mean, Ezreal can kind of self-heal, so can Corki to an extent, but I mean, when pony go fast, sometimes it's all you can really do. We do have a slight delay though, due to a bit of Discord issues on the side of Dorado Gaming, but it looks like we are ready to send it into the client draft in before our spectator break. So Yeah, get in your predictions for these games. The channel points, they're basically only worth bragging rights, but bragging rights are always important when you flex and say, "Ha, I have X channel points on Runeterra Academy."
Yeah, I think that this is a pretty strong draft from Dudbro Gaming. It's like it's got clear win conditions. You want to get to the late game with this Ornn Victor and Hecarim, but they've also got a strong early lane in the Ash Karma. So I think that they're going to have a lot of opportunity to play through bot and then let those carries have time to scale. But they could run into some trouble if they end up giving up too much early priority in the top side. If Pepecito Munchino gets too big of a lead, that could be hard to deal with. Silas, always a difficult champion to lock down and finish off, has so much healing with the Kingslayer, and kind of an interesting lore look to have a Silas and then Jarvan the Fourth on the team A.
Yeah, bit of a strange one there. But I when you were mentioning the jungle picks and the bot side advantage on the side of Deadbro, I'm I don't know what your take on this might be, but what are we thinking of the likelihood that we might see a split map coming in between these two junglers, because because of how the disparity of how strong these two early games are on the opposite sides of the map.
Yeah, I think that there's a potential for that. Although I'm not sure that either of these junglers are going to be in a position to stay too long for an early invade. I think that the mid lane matchup makes it a little bit harder to be that heavily invested on an invade, because I mean, if you're saying that Chihuahua Dog is going to invade on the Hecarim, and look towards the bot side to do that, and then it's not too difficult to imagine a Corki just valking over and starting to throw down some auto attacks. And then if you can get the Alistar to the fight through the Tri-Brush, then it looks like there's a lot of lockdown, and Hecarim gets tanky enough in the later stages of the game, but he's not really that tanky early on. So I think that they would be able to, win that sort of 3v. We'll call it a 3v2 potentially, because maybe Karma or Victor gets there later on in the fight. But I think that gets collapsed on other side of the map. If Rogue wants to invade, I'm honestly not sure that he straight up wins the 1v1 against Chihuahua Dog on the Hecarim. So Jarvan versus Hecarim. I feel like Hecarim's going to win that 1v1 in most cases, because you should have enough movement speed to dodge the flag and drag unless it's out of vision. But then rotation of Victor is a lot of damage on top of that. So I think that invading might not be the way to go here, but it definitely, based on the top and bot lane, feels like the sort of game where you would want to do that. So it makes sense that that's something that you would at least have in mind.
All right, and with that note, before we send it to a break because of the spectator delay, Tiger, who do you have winning this one? I think, personally, I'm going Dorado Gaming, simply because of how good they've been playing. But
I'm gonna take Dudbro Gaming for taking at least game one off. I don't know about the whole series, but I like their comp that they've drafted here, so I think they've got themselves a shot to win here in game number one.
And with that, we're going to send it to a break. We'll be back once the spectator delay is through, and we'll see you on the other side.
long have we fought for these lands? In the shadows and the stories of the promised land. Now to take our place beyond. You're on the roof of the world, in the cradle of the stones, where faithful winds cut to the bone, and there's no turning back.
And we are in for game one. We've got ourselves a little bit of level 1 shenanigans from the side of Dorado Gaming, though. Did spot out good 5-point start from the side of Dudbro, marking out where they might have come through. And so we've got wards on the opposite sides of the map. You're all ready, Tiger.
Yeah, a little bit of invade, so I think that makes it even that much more difficult to split map at this point, because if you go in, you know that they know. It's because the vision on both red buffs, Dorado Gaming knows that they got Saw on the way in, which means that their ward is known, and also it means that most likely Naysayer was able to go put down that ward, which in fact he did. But a good sweep coming through, so that means a little bit of the early gold going over to Naysayer. Got that 1 CS advantage in the mid lane. You love to see it.
You do, like, it is a bit of a semi-joke, but, like, that little bit of extra XP, I'm not sure how much it affects the mid lane levels, but I know at least in the bot lane, like, when you get that one extra bit off the ward, it feels so good. I think getting that extra level 2 is, we've got a little bit of trade in the top side. No, okay, but yeah,
level 2 off of the first wave, I believe. Yeah, so off of just the first wave minions, you get level 2. Obviously, in the matchup of Victor versus Corky, that doesn't mean you're getting, like, all in or anything. But I think that it's nice to have that little bit of an advantage. But this lane should be pretty quiet in the mid lane unless we get a lot of jungle action.
If we have a quiet mid lane, top lane's already getting this one's just about as loud as a space shuttle if mid lane is currently quiet. Trade's going out left and right, though neither top lane are quite finding a distinct advantage just yet. So as we move along.
It looked like that trade was going pretty well for Keikovu, actually. At full health after using the pots, and Pepacito Moonfini only at half. And as we expected, the bot lane, a little bit of extra zoning coming from hard only for Bard. So
actually might have a gank to this top side, though. The layered CC is incredible. Kovu has to flash away from that, flashing from Monchiti, and that is the first blood going over to the side of Dorado Gaming. Excellent gank from Rogue, and actually showed his bot side was saying that Sane, and
This is the
doesn't
greedy
quite go
player.
down.
I'm not sure that Sene Shadow should still be here.
Well, speaking of someone who might not need to be here still, Chihuahua is already low. Coming through is Mancini. He's gotten low, but the health will come back because Silas has that passive, not passive, the active heal on his Kingslayer, but it won't be enough from Kovu to be able to turn that one around or get out alive. So another trade up in kills for the side of Dorado Gaming just 4 minutes in here.
Yeah, I guess that I underestimated the power of Jarvan. Just going for that invade doesn't get punished at all. It looked like Beyond Godly was looking to go in there, didn't quite get in range for the headbutt, so that's an unfortunate circumstance. But 3-1 in kills so far for Dorado Gaming Sigma, so they're taking
Hold on,
it.
Clue? Clue, what are you doing here, man? Completely alone. His team's close in tow behind, but he's already solo as it is. So they might be able to just turn this around. That's the first kill going onto the Alistair. However, with being solo, Clue finally goes down. That's Chihuahua, who's way out of position here. Nothing the rest of his team can really do, and it's very good play from the side of Dorado Gaming. And it, at first it looked a bit questionable with the way Clue was able to live, but stayed long enough to get that trade kill back. But at the end of the day, it's starting to go upside. That's a lot of damage from Kovu, more than I expected. But no, yeah, definitely got ourselves a fire first few minutes, Tiger.
Yeah, it was a good rotation there from both mid laners actually, but Tough Daddy able to show up first, making it a 4v3 momentarily, and they were able to get
Hold on. Genie's looking for the all-in. Use the Kingslayer to heal back up to about half health there, and from what immediately looked like a Kovu advantage on Silas things happened, really.
Yeah, Pepacito Muncini actually has 2 of those 3 kills that came in the top lane, and already on Lost Chapter makes it so much more difficult for Keiko Vu to stay even in the trades. But right now, at least staying alive in the top lane. A 17 CS lead for Pepacito, though, means that it's going quite well. And I think Dorado Gaming across the map is feeling pretty good.
We've got 3 members in the mid lane. That's going to force out Naysayer's flash at the very least. And with the Hextech Drake up now, that most likely going to be converted into the first Drake going over to the side of Dorado Gaming.
Yeah, and the worst thing that I'm seeing on my screen right now, if you're a fan of Dudbro Gaming, is that right now the bot lane is CS even and +1 kill for Sene Shadow, so that's really the lane that you were hoping to at least build a CS advantage in, but right now it's just not happening.
Yeah, and we were saying we were definitely expecting more of a lead to develop on its own in this bottom side of the map, and since it really hasn't, we're already 7 minutes in. It's a little bit concerning. However, they do still have a slight advantage, but one that, with how much the rest of Dorado Gaming has capitalized on, just might not be enough, especially as this game goes along. Ash's damage does kind of fall off. However, Chihuahua trying to find the gank here onto Pepacito.
Yeah, I think that if Chihuahua Dog was level 6 at the start, it would have worked. He is now, though. We'll see if they go for a dive.
He is now, but straight over to the bot lane. We've got an all-in, and Bard is, well, he was there at one point. Well, Bard on Karma, that's going to get confusing real fast. Either way, yeah, clean gank from Rogue, and he just might look for another regank dive onto this Ashe, though. Now he's starting to path away.
Yeah, a lot of ganks coming out from Rogue. I will say that for the moment, Chihuahua Dog has got a 16 CS advantage in the jungle, so that may be the only bright spot right now for Dudbro Gaming. Got 4 camp lead is nothing to sneeze at, but right now down about 1,500 to almost 2,000 now. It's not a spot that you want to be in at 8 minutes.
Yeah, 2,000 gold at 8 minutes feels like I'm Well, Silas is nearly all the way or about halfway to his first item. Meanwhile, Orin, you look at his inventory. He's got a wooden shield, a red leaf, a tear, and some boots. It definitely not the best of situations to be in for Kovu. However, Orin never really known to be that strong side top laner. So perhaps in 1 point, maybe not as too much of a concern for the side of Dudbro there, but yeah, definitely Dorado favored.
Yeah, I think in that top lane, if you're the Ornn, you're all right being down a kill in about 15 CS. He's just got to hold the position he's in. Got to stay aware of any ganks that might be coming up. It's a nice control ward that he's got in the River Brush, especially since the wave is in a good spot for Keikovu.
Hold on, Sane Shadow won't have his support next to him, so Clue's just going to decide to go all in. That bot lane is able to get the 2v1 kill onto this Ezreal. And I mean, just really good awareness from the side of Dudbro Gaming's bot lane, seeing that that ID on Godly had started moving up towards the top side of the map. I mean, they'll be able to get Herald off that, but good awareness from the bot lane.
Yeah, so it's a cross-map play. I think a couple plates should go over to Clue and Hard as well. So we're playing a risky business here with Beyond Godly looking at the invade. But it looks like that will be just about it. Maybe they'll be able to collapse, though, on this top side of the map.
Yeah, they just might hear Headbutt. Pulverize going to lock up Chihuahua. Cataclysm not enough to keep him away as he runs through the rest of that. But just Flash Q. I thought it was Flag and Drag might have been coming through. Actually, the Flag's cooldown might have not been up. But Kovu, I don't know what he does here. He can't really walk away. And he's got 3 members around. Call of the Forge God has been taken away, and has he even touched the ground there? Geez, knocked airborne for about 1,000,000 years between all those abilities. Even though the teleport does come through from Naysayer, Beyond Godly does get out here. And it's just really well executed from the side of Dorado Gaming, starting to just really run away with this one across the map.
Yeah, that was a really interesting combination there, because you know why that knockup lasted so long. It's because Call of the Forge God applies Brittle, and that was
it does, really?
The Flag and Drag knockup, so that meant that the extra CC duration was there. Something that we rarely ever talk about when it comes to Ornn, but Ornn having that Brittle, only champion in the game that has Brittle, but Silas stealing it away and using it to extend the Jarvan knockup. That's an interesting look and something that I don't know if I've ever seen before. So good combination there for Dogs, and continuing to push this advantage. 2.5k gold lead now.
Speaking of this gold difference in the top side, Quinchini, he's starting to not even have to concern about using his Kingslayer to heal back up as Kovu. I know he's trying his best, but a little bit of extra focus towards that top side has definitely helped this matchup, and one that we kind of expected would come through. But what's a bit of surprise is that towards the bottom half of this map, that should be the second Drake going over to the side of Dorado Gaming just in a few moments, as Chihuahua is on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, and that time Tough Daddy had the package available, so this is not a fight that would have gone well if it was contested by Dudbro Gaming. Makes sense just to give it up. A little bit of counter jungling coming through here from Chihuahua Dog, so it looks like the split map has finally occurred, but not quite the way we'd expected. Oh, did the steal come through? Not quite.
Not quite.
Able to pick up that red buff. But now we got a gank in the mid lane.
Yeah, hold on. This Corki has no allies to help him here. Chihuahua picks up the first kill, and even though the rest of Dudbro's coming through, Cataclysm is dropped by Rogue, picking up yet another kill as he's 5-0-3. Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands on his Ezreal, and that is a full 3-second stun. Ooh. And that is 2 kills going over back in favor of Dudbro Gaming. That's Naysayer picking up the double kill. And so something that quietly has kind of happened and gone under the radar a bit is that now with that 10 CS lead, all of a sudden what seemed like maybe a minor component of an advantage has turned into maybe we might be able to blow this game wide open, or maybe not wide open, but a way back into it at the very least.
Yeah, so now only back to 1,000 gold deficit for Dudbro Gaming. That's a couple of big shutdowns coming through here, and Naysayer was the one to pick it all up, so that means that a little bit of a lead coming through in the mid lane might be the avenue by which Dudbro Gaming comes back to level terms. I think that here, with this Rift Herald being dropped top, though, we're going to see a little bit more of the gold lead returning to the side of Dorado Gaming. And yep, that makes it back out to 3K, right where it was before.
Yeah, I also believe they were able to get that Rift Herald off before the bot lane now was got to fight. Beyond Godly is going to ult away, using that damage reduction, but I mean, yeah. He tried. It was close though.
Yeah, it was actually a solid play there by Beyond Godly. I think that once the headbutt is gone, there's no way that you ever get out of the
Speaking of dives, we're skewing straight to the top side of the map. Kovu's not having a fun time as he is taken down once more by the side of Rogue and Pepecito Muncini. And I know Orin's generally considered weak side, but I mean, it's been... Oh, hold on. Enchanted Crystal Arrow will land onto Sane Shadow. He's already used the dash away, and yeah, there's not much else he can do there. Leaving their Ezreal on this bottom half map completely alone. I think we could call this a pretty split map at this point with what we've seen, Tiger.
Yeah, not maybe from the jungle camp perspective, but we definitely are seeing the top side gap versus bot side gap. And as soon as Beyond Godly is not in lane, this has become an issue where Sane Shadow is not able to get out of the 1v2. Tried to go for the arcane shift, but Clue with the good geometry had an enchanted crystal arrow that would have landed at either spot. And if he tries to dodge back maybe horizontally or in a way to get out of the enchanted crystal arrow, then all of a sudden Hard is going to be able to put down the tether, and there's no way that you ever get out of that. So the damage is just too much, and it's a good combo, good dive, and now turret taken means that if we look at the gold lead, it's 1,000 in favor of Clue. It's about even in the mid lane. The big advantage, though, for Dorado Gaming Sigma is that jungle top, both of which are about 2,000 in advantage. So good work there, and they're going to be rewarded with another Rift Herald.
Yeah, second Herald is picked up for the side of Dorado Gaming. Generally not to be considered as strong, however, Muncini will take the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and whiff. So that is one major ultimate down, and now here comes Kovu knocking up 3 with the Call of the Forge God. That being said, stopwatch used up by Pepecito Muncini keeps him alive just a little bit longer. Clue is going on a rampage, now sitting at 4-1 and 2. Feeling very nice on that Ashe, though doesn't seem like it might be over just yet. Still posturing from side Dorado Gaming. But I would assume that's more than likely going to be the Drake going over to the side of Dudbro Gaming.
Yeah, it absolutely should be. And just trying to take the jungle on the way out. But the poke on the back end of the fight from Naysayer was what really sealed it for me. I was like, maybe go for a re-engage, and then I see Sene Shadow's health bar drop to like 30%.
Ooh, like, hold on. Flag and Jag from Rogue's going to have to force the flash out of Clue. However, we have the rest of his team showing up. Teleport has to be burned by Muncini. And actually, that's a double teleport now, and another flash burned from Rogue's Flag and Drag. So 2 major summoner spells already burned from the side of Dudbro Gaming. And here comes the package from Corgi going really far in here. Tough Daddy not quite getting enough damage onto that Karma. Hard will live for now, but very, very fine margins in that fight.
Yeah, nice sidestep and good recognition there from Dudbro Gaming that this is not the fight that they want to have. Chihuahua Dog had the Onslaught of Shadows on cooldown. You can't fight without that. Call of the Forge God, Enchanted Crystal Arrow, both also on cooldown, so they just want to disengage that. They're going to have to give up mid-tier 1, which doesn't really feel good, but it was also packaged there for Tough Daddy, so even if you've got all your ultimates, it's still kind of a difficult fight to win.
Hold
But
on,
now they've
speaking of
got the
Enchanted
ultimate
Crystal Arrows, we're going through. That is another one landing onto this Ezreal. Clue, I don't think he's missed one so far this game, and that is his 5th kill of the match.
Yeah, Enchanted Crystal Arrow got buffed. The movement speed is up. It scales with how far it's traveled now, so it's a little bit slower right at the beginning, but as long as you're not ulting someone who's like 1,000 units away, you're going to get that extra speed. And these have been long range arrows that Clue is hitting. That one was the nearest, and it was still from about the mid turret to the mid turret range, like one side's mid tier 1 to the other side's mid tier 1. So that was still definitely feeling the effect of that speed buff. But it's just connect and then it's a kill, and Chihuahua Dog has the follow up. It's so easy to get a pick with this comp for Dudbro Gaming, and they're using it quite effectively to stay close in this match.
Yeah, and they've definitely managed to keep themselves in it. I mean, we were looking at around 8 minutes, which was 12 minutes ago. Didn't seem like that as at all, but Dorado Gaming was still sitting on a 2K gold lead at that point, but it has not grown at all since then. And as we were showing how earlier, how the gold is kind of split across different members of both teams, that even though it was a really rough early game from the side of Dudbro Gaming, it's definitely now far from over currently.
Yep. I will say that taking a look at some of this itemization, we've got the Hex Drinker coming through from Tough Daddy, so that will help.
Oh, I don't know. He's going in. I don't know if he knows where the rest of his team is or the rest of the other team is. Here they are now, all the members coming through. Rogue finally going down, however. That is 2 kills at the early start of this fight. That's the Karma also going low. Naysayer had teleported into the mid lane. Trying to get Mooncini. The extra speed from Chihuahua Dog won't quite be enough to take down Mooncini. Beyond Godly, I don't. Perhaps a bit of a miscommunication from him and his team there, as you know, both the Silas and the Ezra were retreating. He decided to go back in, and well, that was him going down.
Yeah, this is some of the issue that I saw initially out of draft coming from the comp for Dorado Gaming Sigma. They just have all their damage up front, but they don't have any follow-up. So if they don't pick up kills right at the beginning of the fight, it's going to be very difficult for them to actually find those kills at all. So they're trying to chase down Chihuahua Dog, who has 400 health left, but they just try to stay a little bit too long and look for poke onto him. And by staying in that area, Clue's able to show up with the follow-up. And you got Naysayer there, you got Hard there. I don't think that Keikobu was there, but whatever the case, the later that the fight goes, the more it favors Dudbro Gaming.
Yeah, and especially as you're saying, that first kill went on to Bard, so that was quite a few key cooldowns expended just on the Karma. And even though, you know, enchanters do get a lot of high value from just existing as fights go on. I mean, all your cooldowns are gone now, and well, there goes your fighting potential. We might have another fight here, though. Teleport being dropped by Kovu, and that's going to move the rest of Dorado Gaming off of and away from that Scuttle Crab. But as Drag's coming up right now, do they realistically have a way back in here to try to contest?
It doesn't look like they want to. Mooncini just sitting in the side lane. We would have seen him teleport in by now if they were going to. That's a nice true shot barrage to get some damage down, but you're not going to team fight on the back end of it anyways. I will say, though, just getting that poke down doesn't hurt because that cooldown's going to be back up by the time you need it again. So really harmless to throw that through, try to get the steal on the Drake potentially, but we're back to even on Drakes. and the gold lead still sitting right about 2,000. So the more we get into the mid to late game portion here, we're gonna start to see some Ornn items to add to that gold effective value that we're getting from Dudbro Gaming. We're going to start to see more late game item completions, which start to choke out how much a gold lead actually means. So, really good stall through the mid game from Dudbro Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was an excellent stall of time from Dudbro. I mean, they managed to stop the Drake stacking from Dorado, and even then managed to even keep their really ridiculous gold deficit. One that you go, wow, that's going to be really tough to come back from. But I mean, it's really tough. They were telling us there was a chance, and they rose to the occasion. So in all fairness to them, we really do have the really nice game on our hands, pouring up in game one.
Yeah, I think that it's a little bit much to say that once you have 2,000 gold at 8 minutes, that's a deficit that you can't come back from. It is 2,000 gold. So, like, at the end of the day, that forces the team with the lead to continue to snowball before you say, all right, now it's 5,000 at 15 minutes, it's 10,000 at 23 minutes. And now you can start to get into the position where it's impossible to come back from. But especially with a comp like we're seeing from Dudbro Gaming, it's easy to just get 1 or 2 picks and start to get that gold stacking up. Now we got 5-1-4 on Clue. We've got 3-0-3 on Naysayer. So both of them are in prime position to carry fights, and that's exactly where you want the gold. And with the first 2 items complete on Chihuahua Dog and 1.5 complete on Keikovu, they're starting to get to that spot where it's actually meaningful that there's no consistent DPS coming through from the side of Dorado.
Hold on. Moongenie doesn't quite know where Chihuahua is on that English, so he'll have to flash away at the early part of this fight. But I don't know, Beyond Godly, I don't think you want to be here. And ult comes through, Moongenie going low. He will be kept alive by the locket for just a bit now, and as the teleport is coming through, but yeah, it's Clue with the enchanted crystal arrow. As you saw, this man is absolutely on point with these Ashe ults today. I mean, like I said, I don't believe he has missed one so far.
Not any that have been on screen, to say the very least. So, meanwhile, rotating everyone towards the top side, Dorado Gaming is going to clear out as much vision as they can. They don't want to give up the Baron on the back end of the fight, but it looks like just staying in the... I was going to say evening up the gold, and then I checked the gold. It's still, 1.5k gold lead in favor of Dorado Gaming. It just will not move. It's frozen.
Yeah, well, but there's also a lot of standing gold, I suppose, if you want to use the air quotes, because of Dudbro still have only taken 1 tower in that bot lane tower, so they still have a lot of more global gold that can go into their pockets. But at the same time, we might have another dragon fight, as that's going to spawn in 45 seconds. Vision Wars starting just about now. He says, I want your ultimate on to Chihuahua, taking that onslaught of shadows. And well, as it stands, very dangerous moment. Hold on. Hard gets caught out once more. Actually, maybe not. Well, yeah, once more. He's not, considering how strong the rest of Dudbro has been. Relatively, Clue has to flash away from that headbutt pulverize on the Hex Flash from Beyond Godly. So a relatively major summoner spell cooldown now gone for this dragon fight, and it would be really difficult for Dorado to contest if they even want to.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to go for a fight, at least. Maybe an attempted steal of the wall, but it looks like they're just going to respect it, give it up. You don't want to give up a Baron on top, so you just accept that it's 4v5. You're not going to win that fight. and you can fight at the next Drake. Next Drake will be the Soul Drake coming up for Dorado Gaming, so that is the win condition that they're looking for. Mountain Soul here, pretty decent. I mean, you're talking about a decent amount of poke, but it would be devastating if Dudbro Gaming picked up the Mountain Drake against a poke comp. So definitely you want to see those Mountain Shields coming in favor of Dorado Gaming if you're a Dorado fan. Make it a little bit more accessible to stick around, look for some more poke on the back end of the fight.
And Moncini's deciding to try to find the onto Naysayer, but I mean, he's not looking all that healthy for now, and with the rest of Dubro Gaming moving towards the top half of this map, it might be high time for him to book it out of there. So yeah, he started his recall. It doesn't seem completely over just yet. That's, you're saying though, that little extra gold going in favor as that top lane tier 1 tower does fall in favor of Dubro Gaming.
Yeah, and both teams are playing on the edge of their seat right now. They really are trying to avoid giving up a massive throw. And right there we see 4 members rotating towards the top side, and yet still no commit from Dorado Gaming on trying to defend that tower because they just don't know how many members they're up against. They played it really safe. I definitely don't mind that they did that, and they avoided giving over any kills on top of the tower. But at the same time, they rotated all those people and then didn't do anything, which means that they kind of were wasting their time just a little bit. That said, Tough Daddy was able to clear out the bot wave, keep that pushing. So I think that still, it's just about an even trade, but we're starting to see the gold lead shrink ever so slightly. So good stuff from Dudbro Gaming. They've been near flawless throughout the mid game.
Yeah, I mean, really, and I would have to say at about 30 minutes, a 1k gold difference really isn't all that. It really isn't all that major unless, in terms of there seems to be an item threshold that is met. But outside of that, I mean, it's the gold difference is practically negligible at this point, at least in terms of strictly item count.
Yeah, let's take a look at the champions and see who exactly we would consider to be online. Obviously, Clue with 3 items, having that Ginsu's and having that Wit's End is huge. So definitely online there. Victor, we just saw the damage. We had ult versus ult with the Naysayer and Mooncini, and Naysayers did a ton more damage. So I think that's safe to say that he's online as well. 6-1 and 4 for Rogue. So we haven't seen the kills coming through that much from Rogue lately, but still in a very good position. And the big one that I wanted to look at, Tough Daddy just picked up the looting.
Yeah, that I noticed that as well. I was that was when I said, ooh, I wanted to bring it up, but yeah, you got to that, so absolutely cool. Yes, Corky with 3 items is definitely a very strong item threshold. Moving over, and hold on, Clue just might be caught out here. A few of his teammates had already recalled, and there it is, a 1,000 gold shutdown going onto Rogue. And that is the main member of the side of Dudbro down and out, and it looks like they might even just move over to this Baron. Hold on, Naysayer is in a strange spot. Beyond Godly, well, okay, yeah, they're going to be moving to Baron, though. And without their ADC, no, man.
You just set up Drake. Obviously, you can't really contest this Baron, but I'm not seeing anyone going to get vision over the Drake, actually, which surprises me a little bit from Dudbro Gaming. We'll see if they rotate their members over there. Drake coming up within 35 seconds. Clue will be back on the map by then, so we'll see what happens in the fight. But I think that right now, that may have been just the pick that Dorado Gaming needed to finish off the game. Start getting the gold lead actually snowballing. 3,500 now, so it's finally unstuck, but we'll see if they can continue to push it forward.
Yeah, and well, you were saying Clue isn't quite back just yet, and they're definitely going to need their AD carry for this fight. I mean, he's put an absolute godlike performance. However, you know, Beyond Godly just might be proving that it might not be enough, because they don't use your names either way. Bion Golly will flash in though, straight away from the side of Dorado Gaming, picking up a bunch of kills here very early on, and without any members left on the side of Dorado Gaming, this will probably be that fight completely done. Naysayer does manage to pick up a kill onto the Corki though. And that was a fairly sizable shutdown. So even though it is an overall win for the side of Dorado Gaming, they should be able to pick up this Dragon Soul. Still a bit more gold going into their relatively fed Victor, who's feeling quite nicely, especially with that upgraded Ludens.
Yeah, and with the Ornn upgrades coming through, I definitely think that this is still a winnable match for Dorado Gaming. But giving over those 3 kills there, now the gold lead is up to 5,000. The Mountain Soul is going to mean extra stats as well, so that adds to the deficit that you're looking at for Dorado Gaming. But with the Mountain Soul, we got to talk about the siege potential here coming out for the side of Dorado Gaming. They all of a sudden, with the extra Mountain Shield, they're not going to be able to be bursted out at the beginning of the fight. They may be able to survive through a little bit of extra Victor poke. That's what's been plaguing them some in a few of these fights. I mean, obviously, Clue hitting a bunch of arrows has been huge, but Naysayer's been picking up a ton of damage. We saw right at the end of the fight around the Drake as well, just flashes across the wall and deletes Tough Daddy.
We'll see if they're going to be able to Munchini, we've got all these members here, and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow from practically his own base. Clue once more. I mean, it's incredible. Really incredible, Ash.
Absolutely targeted ability.
Yeah, no, it's a point and click, didn't you know?
Yeah.
Point and click Ash.
You'll love to see that, but another success coming through there, a good pick, and getting some extra gold on the Chihuahua Dog is the call. I think that'll actually help. We're so late into the game that we're going to get to full build, I believe. I mean, tier 2's still up in top and bot lane. It's into the tier 3 in the mid lane, so mid lane's the one spot where Dorado Gaming Sigma has a chance to maybe end before some people get to full build, but actually getting that extra gold under Chihuahua Dog is getting multiple members closer to the full build instead of just getting there even quicker for Naysayer. So I like that call there.
Yeah, but we're going to see. We want to take a look back at these inventories. Tough Daddy on the Corki has also completed his Maul of Malmortius, even though, I mean, I guess that is only extra stats over the Hex Drinker, so we'll still have that little bit of survivability, but we might just have a Death Bush coming through. Quite sure what they're planning with this. There's no objectives up, but...
Alright, so Baron's coming up in a minute 50, so I have to see if I can go through my memory storage about how long that the Scuttle Crab lasts for its vision that it gives.
I don't know, we've got a fight up here. Beyond Godly's taking quite a bit of damage. As he's mentioned, Baron's coming up in a few moments, so though they're going to mostly walk away just for now, I don't imagine it'll stay that way for long, Taggy.
Yeah, and the vision contest is going to be huge here. I don't know if Pepacito actually has enough damage to 1v1 Keikovu yet. Oh, we're getting
He's on a Black and Dragon. Actually, here comes the champion.
Oh no,
that's the first one that's missed this whole game. It would have been an incredible pet onto Tough Daddy. However, that is all a lot of cooldowns used on the side of Dorado. I don't believe they'll be able to live long enough, and yes, it is Dorado Gaming starting to absolutely destroy much of this fight. But yeah, you're saying Naysayer is still alive. He's doing quite a bit of damage. Does get that kill onto Avion Godly. So this Victor's still alive. This Victor looking very huge. Does still a large portion of the damage of Dorado Gaming is still alive. And with this Ornn on full health, they'll probably just both walk away for each other for now in a 2-for-2.
Yeah, we're going to get this same exact fight here in 30 seconds again. Baron not up just yet. I don't think either side would feel very comfortable taking it anyways, but now everyone can get their reset, go back out onto the map, put down the vision. There's still a ward in that river brush right now for Dudbro Gaming, so they should be feeling comfortable enough to walk up and at least try to put down some wards. But on the other sides of the that brush, you got control ward in the pit, control ward in the lane brush as well. So it's going to require a little bit of investment. A strange sight to see Chihuahua Dog actually going towards the bot side. Maybe they figured that the Baron is not going to be taken by either side in a sneak sort of capacity. So maybe we don't actually get a fight until Elder Drake here in a minute.
Well, they also probably spotted out Tough Daddy in that bottom lane, and without him and around that Baron, I don't believe Dorado should have the fastest Baron take ever. So, probably relatively slow. However, Enchanted Crystal does come through. Buncini getting knocked up here and about, and there he is. The top laner goes down, and quickly, before this fight has even started, it's slightly favored of the side of Dudbro. However, Hard is about half.
Watch out for Corky.
Oh my god!
That's a one shot for you. That's the Luden's Tempest we talked about. Now Naysayer's got to find a way in.
Yeah, that was literally only one rocket from Tough Daddy. Wow. Hold on, Flag and Drag over Rogue, trying to find the way in onto Chihuahua Dog. Has to use that Onslaught of Shadows right as this Elder Drake is spawning. So down a member and down one major ultimate. It's going to be a very difficult situation for the side of Dudbro to even get anything out of this Rift Herald. Actually, it looks like they're going to Bear and try to trade across the map.
Yeah. Does Tough Daddy still have the package? If he does, oh, okay, no package. No package.
Yeah, no package currently, but they do have the Elder Drake in with Chihuahua Dog looking very low. That's the Elder Immolation picking up the first one. Clue now doesn't quite have his GA back up, and that's another kill going over. Tough Daddy picking up just one more as well, and it's looking very, very favorably for Dorado Gaming, as they probably just end here.
Yeah, they probably just end, and it looks like Clue's not the only AD carry in this game that can hit the cross map. True Shot Barrage coming through and finishing off Clue for maybe the last time here in game one. And it looks like the Nexus Towers are going to be the focus here. And I don't think that an Ornn and a Karma are going to be sufficient to test here. So that's going to be game number one going over to Dorado Gaming Sigma.
I mean, what an absolute banger of a first game, though, Tiger. I mean, it was pretty much about as split as possible. I mean, we had both teams with very, very solid champions of interest. And even though it was a bit of a sudden end, considering how much of a buildup we've had to it, I mean, if this is what we have in store for the rest of the series, I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. A good performance there from Dudbro Gaming. As we said, they got a little behind in the early game, but they stuck it out for so long. And finally, at the end of the game, just a pick onto Clue ended up being what finally sprung the gold lead in favor of Dorado Gaming Sigma, and they're able to finish off game number one. But if game number two is anything like it, then we will have had a heck of a series on our hands.
Yeah, and so with that, we will actually send it to a break as we get ready for the draft of that game two. I mean, I would highly advise not really missing out on this one, because yeah, like you said, it's been absolutely incredible. We'll see you then. And after what was an incredible game one, we are live for game two between Dudbro Gaming and Dorado Gaming Sigma of week 4 of Runeterra's Academy's junior match of the week. Tiger, we've got a substitution on the side of Dorado Gaming.
That we do. We've got Dobbin back for game number 2. So we talked about at the beginning that we didn't know exactly what the situation was going to be, but it was pepperoncini. Or wait, what was it? I have already forgotten it.
Pepacito Muncini.
Pepacito Mooncini. That's what it was.
I also don't. I usually have them written down, but it was a kind of a last minute substitute. As I had the chance to speak to I believe it was Tough Daddy was their point of contact, I believe, and he said that it was a kind of up in the air whether or not Dobbin could have made it, but he was speaking up Dobbin's ability and his ability to really just play whatever they need him to at any moment, and so we finally get to be able to see a little of that displayed on stream for us. And so we're just about moving into draft. Actually, are we? We've got
Yeah. So
for me.
I thought that was a pretty decent performance from Mooncini. But I'm hoping that Dobbin will show us why he is the starter here in the top lane game number 2. I thought that a lot of focus there from Rogue towards the top side really helped out. So maybe that had something to do with the difference in personnel. I think that it was a lot of carry picks in the 3 matches that Mooncini was in. But now we've got the more flexibility with Dobbin, so that could affect how we see the draft go on. And there was one thing also that I had from talking to Chihuahua Dog, which is the contact for Dudbro Gaming, and he said that they have a coach, which is JVL. I think JVL's in the chat right now, actually, but he said that he does a lot of work in assisting with the draft. So shout out to him for helping out with Dudbro Gaming there. So we'll see if they're able to come up with another good draft in game number 2. Switching over to the red side, so now they'll have the counter pick. We'll see how that works for them.
Yeah, and we saw with Kovu in the top lane, not really too much of his own fault. How he was, how all that focus was on him, sitting on Ornn against the Silas, and then jungle support as well, or jungle assistance as well, because support's a role. But yeah, maybe it might just be Kovu's chance to shine now that Brain hello, that Dudbro have the counter pick.
Yeah, so it looks like some similar picks in the early stages. Tough Daddy, it looked good on the Corki, especially good use of the package in the fight around the Drake, where they were able to pick up the 3-for-1, and he got flash deleted at the end of the fight, but he still was big in setting it up, and they were able to come away with the fight win, so still good stuff there. And the Corki in general, I didn't see a lot of the stuff that was going on in lane because it was just pretty quiet in the mid lane like we had talked about, but obviously getting into the late game stages is what you're looking for in the Corki, and he was absolutely deleting people with the rockets at the end of the game there. So good work there, and definitely just going back to the same thing that worked as they pick up the Ezreal as well.
Yeah, it looks like Sane Shadow is a fairly big fan of the Ezreal, at least in this series. However, Rakan now is locked in, so a slight change up in terms of this.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about Rakan. Rakan's a good champ, to be sure, obviously, and being able to engage like that is very important for your team. But also being a little bit squishy, and he kind of forces the last 2 picks to be onto more sort of frontline, or at least one of the last 2 picks. But I still have the same concerns as the last draft for Dorado Gaming. Obviously, they were able to make it work out, And Dudbro Gaming doesn't have any tanks of their own yet either, so we may just see a bunch of tank pickups in the last 2 rounds of the draft. But I think that right now, still looking to see uh, if there's some way that Dorado can adjust their draft to make it so that they can actually extend their lead if they are able to get that early advantage like they did last.
Yeah, and just figuring out in terms of Dorado and their early game prowess, they part of that lead came through the play of Rogue's Jarvan, and well, that's off the table now, and a bit understandably so, because in that early game, not only is it Jarvan the fourth, it's Rogue's Jarvan the fourth.
Yeah, I think that the Xin Zhao ban here, or jungle bans actually coming out in the second phase of bans, and you could look through even to the earlier stages. It's Trundle, it's Gwen, Diana, all junglers. So 7 jungle bans this game, kind of limiting the pool. But out of all of them, the Hecarim is still there, so it's going to be picked up by Chihuahua Dog. But the question is, what will be the response to the Hecarim?
Well, I mean, let's see. Jarvan was obviously taken off the table. We'll have to wait and see. I know Chihuahua's a relatively big fan of a Moo. Oh, well, hey, look at that. It's a Moo, and then Camille instantly locked after it.
Yeah, so it'll be a little different look this game for Rogue on the Amumu. Still definitely some early ganking pressure here. And I like Camille pickup actually here as well, because I was talking about consistent DPS. Camille finally is doing that for me. I can definitely feel like you stand in a 1v1 with Camille. Camille's going to shred your tanks. So I like the counter pick Shen. Shen's going to make it a lot for Ashe here. So it's kind of a situation where we saw the Ashe arrows coming out strong last game from Blue. Blue back on the Ashe, but this time with even more support. The Karma still going to give you the speed up, still going to give you the shield, but now you've got a Shen on top of it, so it's going to be so much more difficult to kill. And I'll be looking to see if it's going to be the same build as last game. So I noticed that there was Immortal Shield Bow, which is good against a lot of this poke potentially, but doesn't actually help you get more damage out. So we'll see if it's going to still be the case when you have the Shen and Karma to be able to give you some shields that you need the Immortal Shield Bow on top of that.
Well, I don't exactly know, at least without the incredibly unbalanced early game is the way to describe it. The one that went strongly in favor of Dorado Gaming. With Shield Bow, I don't know if Clue's role really needs to be as damage focused this game as well. I mean, look at how much upfront damage that Dudbro they have on their team. You got Syndra, you have the Hecarim, Shin. I mean, they blow up 1 or 2 key targets, and then all of a sudden they can just win the rest of the fight. 2 very different, very similar styles coming out from both teams in terms of what they want to do, but I
think that there is some difference though, because I feel like Syndra is going to be stronger early into Corki. Once you get to level 6, then you've got the all-in threat. You can just drop the Force of Will and then scatter the weak on top of that. And it's very difficult to get out of that without just straight up flashing. So I think that there's going to be a lot of opportunity for Naysayer to try to take advantage of this lane. We'll still be seeing ganking potential from Rogue, but I don't know how much of the follow-up that there is this time around. I mean, last game we saw the Silas with good lockup. Camille also has some lockup, especially once you get to level 6, but I think that we saw last game like level 3, level 4 ganks, and I don't think that those are going to be quite as effective with Amumu and Camille as they were with Silas Jarvan. Especially onto Shen, which I think is a much stronger early champion than Ornn is. So we'll see if there's a shift in focus. And also this Rakan pick makes the bot lane look a little bit different. I still feel like it should be favored pretty heavily towards Glue and Hard, but Beyond Godly and Saint Shadow are going to have a little bit more possibility potentially to shift in and help out on a gank. I don't know. I think Alistar could have done that as well, but we'll see if they play it differently is my main point.
I mean, you can have the crazy arcane shift in Rakan dash over and then get that super range on the grand entrance, but outside of that, I'm not quite sure how too much different Rakan's going to play, the tankiness, and with that, we are ready to go into the spectator delay, but before then, who do you have winning game 2?
It looks pretty similar to game number 1, so I feel like Dorado Gaming, you're gonna still have the ability to pull it off. That late game had a lot more burst than I was expecting, and there wasn't enough counter from it for Dorado Gaming, so we could see the same thing here in game number 2. I'm hoping that we can get to game 3 though.
And with that, we'll see you in game number 2. have loaded in for game 2 between Dudbro Gaming and Dorado Gaming Sigma. And we've got ourselves a few level 1 shenanigans coming out here. I agree.
Yeah, I think that just a stack against an invade looks like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they want to go for the late invade. We might have a similar situation to game number 1. Except this time around, the blue side is going to be Dorado Gaming Sigma, and red side is going to be Dudbro Gaming. So we'll have to see if the teams play a little bit different with their priorities given the change in sides.
Yeah, and with that, it might be a slightly slower clear from the side of Dudbro Gaming as Chihuahua did recall to switch over to the Oracle lens, and with that little bit of extra time, I actually believe, never mind, I believe he made it back in time. I just might be sputtering nonsense here.
Yeah. So, nothing too much happening. We had the shenanigans of the 5-man stack, but no shenanigans that are going to have any impact on the game particularly. But we'll see. The last time around, it was difficult for Clue and hard to get the early advantages. They were kind of even throughout the early game, and then suddenly Clue was able to get a couple of kills and then got the advantage. But I had expected it to be an advantage right from the...
Hold on, grand entrance from Ibeon Godly. Maybe
that's
not exactly the best
just
advice.
all you got for level 1 stuff.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised he took it level 1. I would have expected maybe the Q or something from the Archon, but either way, we know he has it now. Level 2 is coming all the way around, and hold on, I mean, this is direct to camera. We've got apparently Naysayer playing pretty dominantly early on in the mid lane here, though I don't believe that's too unexpected.
Yeah, landing a Scatter the Weak for the stun kind of gives some extra oomph to the early trades, but always difficult on Syndra to keep the mana up through the early levels, so I think that it'll be hard to find a kill all the way 100 to 0. Especially
Dobbin going to go onto Kovu here. There's not much he can do now that he's going to throw up his little dodge circle. I actually don't know the name of that ability on top of my head.
It is the Spirit's Refuge. But whatever the case, we'll see. The jungler's not going quite so early towards kills, but Chihuahua Dog maybe...
Well, actually, we just might have a fight in this top lane. Here's Gank coming through. Chihuahua Dog landing the damage onto Dobbin. And even though Rogue was coming close in tow, just a little bit too late to help his teammate there.
Yeah, and Dobbin, with no hook shot left available, it ended up being pretty easy for Chihuahua Dog to just run in there, sweep through, and pick up. The kill actually went on to Keikovu, so we'll see what item we'll have for each of the sides. It's already going to be a cloth armor and a ruby crystal, so Keikovu is going to be feeling pretty good. And Dobbin, notably not taking flash. That's not that surprising on a Camille, but it doesn't help when you get ganked.
Hold on, Clue is going to have a Guardian proc there on both sides. So relatively even trade in the bot lane, but it's still a bit exciting, you know.
Yeah, Rakan, quite the flashy champ, but Rakan Ezreal doesn't have that great all-in potential, so I feel like we're going to see this a lot where Ibeon Godly is just going to go in, land a knock-up, and then just yoink himself right back out, not going to try to look for any extended trades against a Karma Ashe. That sounds like a nightmare. But we got first Drake of the game coming up here. It's an Ocean Drake. Didn't have any of those last game, but we'll see if either side is going to prioritize getting some early Drakes here.
If anything like last game, we know Dudbro was quite fond of attacking those early Drakes. However, Kovu doing very nice, really starting to feel the power come through on the Shin. into the counter matchup that he didn't get last time, and he's feeling gooby right about now, I would imagine.
Was it Dud Pro? I thought that the first two Drakes last game went over to Dorado.
Did I say Dud Bro? I mean, you know what? Words. Either way, we've got a trade in this top side, though not much more else comes in. I'm not really surprised on that one. If I said Dud Bro, that is my mistake.
Well,
it was in fact Dorado Gaming.
I always make mistakes myself as well, so very understandable to say the wrong team on occasion. I just earlier the day was not able to remember a name, so all is well. We're going to just have no one attacking this early Drake, actually, just some more farming of the jungles. But with this quiet early game, and the gold remaining pretty even except for the first blood going over to Keiko, we'll see if anyone is actually going to look to get some kills. It seems like these teams are kind of content just to play out the early game quietly.
We just might see a repeat of what happened a few minutes ago. Kogu not quite landing that taunt, but it maybe won't matter. Chihuahua Dog not quite getting the fear coming through. So now on the back of this fight, Rogue is here. Rogue is getting Kogu low. Kogu flashes away now. Chihuahua Dog. Oh, that was the Stand United used by Shin. I don't know how necessary that was in that situation, but it may have been enough just to send the top jungle duo of Dorado away and say, yeah, we don't want this.
Yeah, I think that was absolutely necessary. Rogue still has flash. He could have definitely flashed Tantrum.
Oh shoot, you're right. He does.
For a kill. So I think great play there from Keiko, who knowing exactly what he's got available to him, and it's very surprising that no one died in that 2v2. But both sides playing on narrow margins, but making sure that they don't end up taking the worst end of the trade. So. Both sides knowing exactly what they have available to them and what they need to get done. So this has been a theme throughout the series. We saw that in game number 1 as well. I'm very impressed with these teams.
Yeah, definitely very neat and tidy so far. However, Enchanted Crystal Era is out now. Clue didn't miss one last game still. Well, actually did miss one last game, but it took him a while. Hasn't missed one yet this game. Snare will prevent Ivy on Godly landing that. Kind of a knock up on the grand entrance. Rogue is here now, and seeing that a Moo probably wisely, the rest of Dudbro Gaming will just walk away from that one.
Yep, so just flash out of Sinisterado. Pretty good gank coming through from Chihuahua Dog, but a good response. Rogue being there at the right time was pretty necessary there to avoid getting killed. But now we may have a 3v3 coming
out.
Yeah,
we've got all these members in and around this Drake. Syndra having a slight lane priorities, moves down. Rogue going low. Rogue now flashing, slowed up by the Mantra Q. Clue picking up the kill onto this Amumu. And Clue, I mean, he had an incredible game last game. Didn't get the win to show for it, but at this point, it's actually fairly close from Ezreal on the True Shot Barrage. But
yeah. A lot of poke
Gaming picking up the first. Great.
Yep. So first 2 kills going over to Dudbro Gaming as well as the Drake, as you said. But that just shows how well these teams are macroing. It's like they're taking the Drake. We want to react to that. And maybe taking the Drake without mid-prio was the misplay there coming through from Dorado Gaming. But Dudbro able to find the answer there. Just sets up with Chihuahua Dog going all in and finding the way onto the enemy jungle. There's no smite fight, so even though a couple of poke abilities coming through right at the end there, able to get smited true by Chihuahua Dog, and good execution once again from Dudbro Gaming.
Yeah, and we know last time out they had a what could really only be described as a not optimal early game. So the fact that they're starting to take the initiative here within the first 10 minutes of this game too, definitely definitely exciting to see because I mean, without being at a deficit most of the game, I mean, maybe this might be the chance that the opportunity they needed to take this game too and send us to a decisive game 3.
Yeah, and with this situation where it's a slight advantage to Dudbro Gaming in the early game, that makes it so much harder to play mid and bot lane, especially for the side of Dorado Gaming, because at any point you're subject to a Spirit's Refuge coming in and making a 3v3 turn into a 4v4, a 2v2 turn into a 3v2. Yeah, and there's just no way to answer because the teleports aren't unleashed.
Godly, there it is. The swiftness used, but Stand United was back available, keeping his mid laner line. That's Kovu. However, there still seems to be quite a few members in and around this mid lane. So after all those abilities have been used, I believe they're just going to walk. Yeah, they're going to walk away now.
Well, that vision could be big actually here. Chihuahua Dog could try something over the wall.
Wait, hold on. You're right about that. We've got all these members running straight to the bot lane. Chihuahua Dog fearing up 2 of the members of Dorado, and that is a lot of damage coming through. However, Saint Shadow will be able to Arcane Shift over that wall. And so even though this Rakan and this Ezreal are only about a third of the health, they probably won't go down, but we'll have to recall.
Why will no one die this game, son?
Oh, it's come so close every time. We don't quite draw blood from well, other than 2 of these fights. Yeah, that I get the feeling. I get that feeling.
Yeah. So both of these teams finding the escape conditions, and it's hard to lock down champs like Rakan and Ezreal, obviously. And 2v2s, it's hard to commit all in near a tower. We saw the fight in the top side, which was similar, where a gank comes through and just doesn't result in any kills, even though everyone ends the fight under 30% health. But now, Rogue, I didn't notice that they took the Rift Herald down, but
neither did I.
That will finally even up the gold. And if they can take that last plate, then that would make the gold lead suddenly swing in favor of Dorado Gaming. But right back to even is the state of the game. There is the first turret, so that's about 1,000 gold lead back in favor of Dorado Gaming Sigma. So they're still in a perfectly fine spot right now, despite the fact that they hadn't picked up anything until they picked up that Rift Herald and turned it into a tower.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a surprise. All this, as you were saying, it definitely this early game so far definitely looked mostly Dudbro favored, is how it's turned out. But I mean, at the end of the day, they found the angles and what they needed, and all the while, you have the Mountain Drake coming up in another 30 seconds, and you take a look at the items. Naysayer has finished his Luden's Echo, or Luden's Tempest, but straight to the top lane, Dobbin will use the Hextech Ultimatum. Kogu without his dodgy circle, as I'm going to call it from now on because it's a lot more funny, has to flash away, but it's not enough just yet. Ignite coming through. I don't believe that'll be enough to take down the top laner of Dudbro.
No one dies. Can the
no. However, package coming through. Tough Daddy getting very dangerous. That one has to flash away from the onslaught of shadows. Chihuahua Dog would have definitely been able to secure that kill if he had landed the spear. However, it's not over just yet. A lot of hope coming through. Enchanted Crystal Arrow will miss. However, yeah, Stand United has been used by Kovu on the fast pace of Chihuahua Dog, dodging all of those auto attacks, and he's still looking fairly healthy. Now that's come through. Flashing Chris has had money from Rogue. And getting very low. Chihuahua Dog flashes early. I'm not quite sure who got that first kill. However, the fight overall is going in favor of Dudbro Gaming. We take a look towards the top, and it was actually Dorado who did manage to take that Drake. So perhaps a bit of the stop the bleeding in terms of the dragon stacking, but really a great fight from Dudbro Gaming.
Yeah, so the focus from Dorado Gaming is what caused them to win the smite fight. Chihuahua Dog was forced to smite for health there and wasn't able to actually use it to land the last hit on the Drake, so Rogue was just able to follow up with the smite there. And a strong engage coming out from Rogue as well with the Flash Curse of the Sad Mummy onto 3, followed up by Ibeon Godly. But then on the back end of the fight, it just gets switched totally out. It was a 5v4 because Dobbin was in the top lane the entire time, no teleport available. So Keikovu comes in with this Stand United, and there's just no response to that. And with the 5v4, they're able to clean up, but 3-1 on the kills. The gold is even once again between these two teams. How many times have I said that throughout this series? And
I have no idea. Too many, too many. But at the same time, it's also not incorrect. I mean, it feels like a lot of these fights, and even if you look at the kill count, that surely the gold would at least tip one way or another by now. But as you said, I mean, we're still only 300 gold separating these two teams at around 15 minutes. It is definitely a surprise, but yet here we are.
yeah, a welcome one to be sure, as they say. But Clue should be feeling pretty good right now. It's one thing to say that the gold is even, but if we actually check who the gold is on, there's a
Beyond Godly's in a bit of a strange spot here. We'll have to use Grand Entrance to get away, so more like the Grand Exit. Clue's arrow will miss again. Not quite on point this game as he was in game 1 with those Enchanted Crystal arrows. Actually, Rogue is here. I don't know if this fight is completely over just yet. Will land the bandage toss, stuns up, and all that AoE CC will make sure Naysayer will naysay anything as he is taken down.
Yeah, and a good pick coming out here. This was kind of the thing that we saw coming through from Dunbro Gaming last game, where they just hide out in the shadows, find a pick on the one, and obviously they're not able to lock Chihuahua Dog up there. So it's just the one kill, but that will be a setback for Naysayer. And they may be able to take down this tower with the next wave. So if they are able to do that, then Dorado Gaming Sigma once again pushing their gold lead back out towards 1,500 gold.
Yeah, speaking of that gold lead, it's a bit surprising with this top lane that Dobbin, despite not having the counter pick, and he still managed to garner that really impressive CS lead over what I'm pretty sure is usually considered a really strong counter to Camille and the Shin. And so I'm impressed. I'm impressed by that.
Yeah, playing pretty well here, and some of it's just been that Keikovu hasn't been in lane this whole time. Keikovu using that Stand United to make sure that the teammates are able to come out on top in some of the fights, and it's been effective, but that's just allowed Dobbin to sit in lane and continue to farm it up, take that top tower, and just get a little bit of a gold lead here in the top lane.
Speaking of gold leads, that little extra bit and then maybe a bit of a missed a little bit of off tempo from the side of Dudbro will pretty much ensure that they can't contest this Rift Herald at all. And there's yet another Rift Herald going over to the side of Dudbro Gaming, and I'm pretty sure they got all the Rift Heralds so far in this series.
Yeah, as far as I can remember, that's correct. But I'm a little bit upset. You know why I'm a little bit upset? I might not.
Because we've got a fight coming in here. Chihuahua Dog is running fast, knocks Tough Daddy out of his Valkyrie away. I'm not sure there's much that he can really do in this situation, trying to find the damage onto Hard. And almost does there, but won't be enough.
This is why I'm upset. It's because they cleared that ward, which told the side of Dudbro Gaming that they were on the Rift Herald, which means you can make those cross-map plays. They get to the bot side of the map first and pick off Tough Daddy. So note to all the people at home, if you've got a control ward on something, don't clear the ward it's sweeping. That gives the enemy team vision again.
Hold on, we've got a fight in the mid lane though. Enchanted Crystal Arrow just going wide once again. Stand United used on Chihuahua Dog. So here comes Shin. They are not going to land as Rogue does keep a pitch to the Sad Mummy to prevent that dash coming completely through. However, it will cost him his life. Teleport in the back here. The package will be used hard on. Hard part is getting low. Not quite down yet, but it is a strong fight going over inside of Dorado. And oh my god, that is a triple kill. Currently on to Duff Daddy as he's sitting on no health. And a great teleport play from the side of Dorado Gaming will find their way back into this fight in their favor.
Yeah, and
Oh,
oh
no, the aggro! Oh,
you don't
you hate to
even,
see it.
the aggro wasn't even on him. He doesn't know the Hextech Drake works in, I guess. But Hextech Drake has always had the Hextech ability on it where it works kind of like Static Shiv used to. The attacks just chain lightning to all the other members in the area. So the aggro was actually on Dobbin, I believe, but just Tough Daddy standing in the area gives over the kill. Fortunately, it was just an execute, so he'll be able to respawn, get back out on the map without having given any gold over. But a little bit of a funny misplay to see here in the mid game.
And that, kids, is what you call a jungle gap. I'm sorry, that was if I have to solo cast the rest of the series, I would completely understand.
Yeah, you just go AFK after that.
This is a solo cast now, guys. Here we are, top lane. Kobu's trying to, just survive this initial engage from Dobbin as Chihuahua Dog's now here. But I mean, Dobbin took practically no damage through that.
No, I actually did want to say something about the fight that went 4-for-1 in favor of...
Hold on, Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You'll have to wait for that as this Ezreal has gone down. Clue picking up the kill, landing the Enchanted Crystal Arrow for, I think, what might have even been the first time this game. Hasn't been on point with those ultimate abilities this time around, but it's important that he found that one there, and it came out to be very favorable for Deadbro Gaming.
Yeah, so just landing a pick here, that's going to be nice leading up. Well, there's no Drake coming out in the near future, but maybe they can pressure the tier 1 mid. That would give some extra map pressure as well. That would feel nice to have. Let's see if I'm going to be able to have the time to say this. The fight that went 4-for-1 in favor of Dorado Gaming Sigma, the big thing that happened that I took note of was that Rogue helped on the disengage effort and made the overextension happen by finding the person with Sad Mummy, actually interrupted the taunt coming through from Keiko, who didn't allow it to land, and that meant that they had to chase him all the way to the tier 2, and that was just a little bit too far, and the TP flank comes in, 5-man package lands from Tough Daddy, and then they just clean up the fight on the back end.
Yeah, I want to say I called that out verbally, but yeah, it was an absolutely incredible play from the side of Rogue, pretty much saving his whole entire team there. I was almost certain that would have at least taunted 3, and with the just the amount of AoE CC that would have followed up after that, it would have barely. I think that might just be that might have been a turning point in this mid game, if not this whole series, as it was looking like Dudbro showing their early game prowess that they didn't quite have last game. Right over to the top lane. Actually, hold on. Dobbin is starting to hurt a bit, and without the little dodgy shield, Kovu's going to take a lot of damage now. Tactical sweep does it. Dobbin getting the solo kill onto Kovu. And I mean, Dobbin, we were told that Dobbin was the one to look out for, and we're seeing why just now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dobbin is online. He's got the Divine Sunder, he's got the Ravenous Hydra, and all of a sudden this gold lead that he's accumulated for himself, having about a 70 CS advantage, and having taken that tower, he's in a position where right now he's over 2,500 ahead just by himself. So that's a big part of the gold advantage here for Dorado Gaming Sigma, and he may be looking at breaking the base right now just with the split push alone.
He misses the taunt, does get the base, and actually this just might be another go going into Dobbin. Hextech Ultimatum is used as it wasn't used in last fight. Whoa, straight to the mid lane. Hold on, we got something bigger. That is the Charm onto 3. Clue going low, Clue going down, and across the map it is a massive win for the side of Dorado Gaming. However, Naysayer does find the return kill onto this Ezreal. But I mean, still at the end of the day, it's massive, absolutely immaculate for Dudbro Gaming.
Hextech Ultimatum is broken, son. Did you see that? Keikovu trying to follow through with the Stand United, but as soon as the part happens where he would show up and make it a 5v4, he's locked in the Hextech Ultimatum and only transitions to the edge of it, where he immediately gets finished off by Dobbin. And now a 4v4 where you were expecting to have a 5v4 makes it so much more difficult to execute for Dudbro Gaming, and Dorado is able to pick up the team fight victory, turn it into the third Drake of the game. Next one will be Soul, and they've got the top inhib down as well, so they've got so much pressure around the map. 5k gold lead, and this is starting to look like the position that Dorado Gaming needs to finish this series off.
Yeah, and I especially in that top lane, we always said, well, Shin will have the ability with the Stand United to arrive into these team fights faster. But I think at this point, just with how much gold Kovu has, not Kovu, I got the top laners backwards, that Dobbin has under his belt, it's practically making it impossible for anybody to really stop this split push from this Camille. And now with the Maul of Malmortius coming out, we got a 3-item Camille with a 450 gold bounty. Trying to crystal arrow will send its way on to Sane Shadow, has to flash away. There, hold on, Rogue taking a lot of early damage. Will manage to live, having flashed over that wall, and so that's 2 flashes down in the early part of this potential upcomings. I mean, Baron's up.
I want to interview a Syndra main and have the explanation of why it is going to be the summon area instead of Arcane Comet if you're going to choose the sorcery tree. But I'm not saying that I think that it's probably bad. I'm guessing that it's right.
I
but
would say it's probably for the guaranteed code, if I had to guess.
Maybe that's
in lane. And you think maybe he's going to Corki, you might feel a bit better, but it looks like Dorado are going to try to start this Baron away. And I mean, he's just straight up not even caring about the tower existing, and I don't even know if there's a way into... No, there is not a way in to stop this Baron being taken by Dorado. Dobbin will just hop away as well, and I don't know if he's out just yet. Enchanted Crystal Arrow not quite available, only having a couple of seconds remaining, and that is a bit unfortunate for Dudbro. And all of a sudden, what was looking like a very close match early on has turned into a, this is looking completely Dorado Gaming, well, just they're in the driver's seat of this one.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure if I saw this right, but it looked to me like what happened was that Keikovu actually used the taunt there right away as soon as Clue was there with him. But that meant that as soon as it expired, Dobbin was free to just hookshot over the wall. I felt like if he waited for the hookshot to come out first and then taunted him, that would have eliminated any escape possibility for Dobbin. So, small thing there, but I feel like right now that 500 gold bounty on Dobbin would feel pretty nice to take down, especially if you could get it onto Clue.
Aiden carry is definitely known for the amount of damage they can do. However, you've seen Shield Bow Ashe again this game, and a bit understandably so. I know since was it the Wits End change that happened around last season, even though they were eventually nerfed. Definitely a very common build path for Ashe, but in terms of the amount of damage that'll be coming through, maybe not the most. Though, as you said, that amount of gold. I believe that's sitting on 1,950 gold. Whatever the shutdown is, it's going to be a massive shutdown. Whoever claims that on top, if someone claims that on top.
Yeah, but you gotta kill him to claim it. So I don't
do.
know how easy that is.
That's not going to be easy at all. Especially now as these waves are getting shoved in. That's a tier 2 mid lane tower going down, and more it just feels like Dorado Gaming are slowly choking out Dudbro. However, the engage onto this Ezreal starts off this fight, so immediately going over, one kill going over in favor of Dudbro. And whoa, Hard is completely just nearly deleted once again by that Corki. So what was looking like a numbers advantage is quickly turned back around, but we're not quite done here just yet. Scatterly did stun up 2 there. So it looks like the recalls will come through.
Yeah, but something's got to happen for Dudbro. They got to get out onto the map immediately because this Drake is spawning in 10 seconds, and it's Hex Soul. Hex Soul, the strongest soul in the game. We all...
Chihuahua will have to ghost away now that he's on such low health, and with, as you said, the soul coming, the Drake coming up in just a few seconds, and actually up now. This is more than likely going to be Hextech Soul going over to the side of Dorado Gaming.
They've got to stand united. They can try to save Chihuahua.
Right now, Chihuahua, it's a bit late. Yeah, there it is. The soul already being claimed. And I believe that will probably be game, set, and match. Fourth side, Dorado Gaming Sigma. It was an absolutely clinical display of mid-game fighting prowess from this squad as they continue to look undefeated so far here in the junior division of Runeterra Academy.
Yep, just a couple mistakes this game, but they got punished really hard. So Dorado Gaming Sigma going to continue their undefeated streak through week 4. We'll see if they can make it to 7-0 on the season. But for now, it's going to be Dogs 2, Dudbro Gaming 0.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got a nice look into why they are so far ahead in the standings. If you even count the game scores, there's only one team across all the groups that has a better record than Dorado.
I bet I know who it is. I know.
Yeah, who it be?
It's gotta be Omega Titans Chronos, right?
Yeah, it is. They haven't lost. They haven't even. I don't know. I checked their record at the start of this week. I don't know if they've dropped a game yet, but yeah, they hadn't dropped a game through week 3 at all. So we've got ourselves some really big power players coming up through. As we're now more than halfway through this split. Definitely as we start to look more towards playoffs, I mean, we might just see a few of these favorites to take the title of this junior series.
Yeah, I really want to take a moment to applaud Dudbro Gaming.
Oh, yeah.
They played a pretty solid series. I feel like this level of play would have been most likely good enough to win against most teams. They didn't make many mistakes throughout the 2 games. I felt like they had 3 or 4 rough fights that they didn't get on the right terms. But they definitely kept it competitive throughout, especially throughout game 1, but definitely into the middle of game 2 as well. They came even with a little bit of a lead, so good performance by them. Dorado Gaming Sigma, though, shows that they are the class team that you gotta come out on top against Dorado Gaming if you want to take out Division 1. So we'll see if they can finish out the season on top.
Yeah, and with that, I believe that'll conclude tonight's broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I've been Sun Praising, alongside me has been Tiger. Behind operating all the things behind the scenes has been Wookie Monster. And with that, we also thank everybody at Runeterra Academy, all the faculty, and we will see you tomorrow. I mean, Tiger and I won't see you tomorrow, but we will have the game tomorrow between Blue Eaters and Imagine Mountain for the senior class, and we'll see you, and we'll hopefully see you out for that one.
Yeah!